Good morning, students. In fourth session, in chapter solution, I shall discuss osmosis, osmotic pressure, application of osmosis in our everyday life, abnormal molecular mass, etc. What is osmosis? In everyday life, we observe that when we put some dry grain of grams in water, it swells up. When we put some dry brinjal in water, after some time it swells up. This is due to osmosis. Osmosis is the flow of solvent particle from a pure solvent to a solution, or flow of solvent particle from a solution of low concentration to a solution of high concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Now, what is semi-permeable membrane? Semi-permeable membranes are membranes that allow only solvent particles to pass through it and does not allow solute particles. There are two types of semi-permeable membrane. Number one, natural semi-permeable membrane. Example is your parchment membrane, bladder of goat or pig, cell membrane of plants. Second one is your artificial semi-permeable membrane. It is prepared when aqueous solution of potassium ferrocyanide and copper sulfate are mixed in a porous pot. The gelatinous precipitate of copper ferrocyanide fills in the pores of the porous pot and act as a semi-permeable membrane. In this diagram, an osmosis is shown, that is flow of solvent particles from a solution of low concentration to a solution of high concentration. Now, osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure of a solution is the excess pressure that must be applied to a solution to prevent the osmosis or to stop the passage of solvent molecule through a semi-permeable membrane into the solution. In this diagram, you see solvent particles flow through semi-permeable membrane in the solution. Both solvent and solution exert atmospheric pressure. Now, the extra pressure we apply toward the solution side just to prevent the osmosis is called osmotic pressure. Now, mathematical expression of osmotic pressure. Now, for dilute solution, osmotic pressure is proportional to the molarity of the solution at a given temperature. That is, pi directly proportional to Ct. Here pi is the osmotic pressure, T is the temperature on Kelvin scale, C is the concentration of solution, or pi equal to CRT. Here R is the proportionality constant called Gauss constant. Now, calculation of molar mass. Again here first you should know osmotic pressure pi is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution, so it is a colligative property. Now, calculation of molar mass. pi equal to CRT from above. C equal to number of moles of solute dissolved by volume of the solution in liter. So pi is equal to N2 by V in place of C into R into T. Here V is the volume of the solution in liter containing N2 moles of solute. If W2 gram of solute of molecular mass M2 is present in the solution, then N2 number of moles of solute equal to given mass of solute W2 by molar mass of solute M2, and we can write pi V equal to W2 RT by M2 or M2 equal to W2 RT by pi V. Here M2 is the observed molecular mass of the solute in the solution. Now, different types of solution. First one, isotonic solution. Two solutions having same osmotic pressure at a given temperature are called isotonic solution. Second one is your hypotonic solution. The solution with lower concentration or lower osmotic pressure is known as hypotonic solution with respect to more concentrated solution. Third one is your hypertonic solution. The solution with higher concentration or higher osmotic pressure is known as hypertonic solution with respect to dilute solution. So there are three types of solution on the basis of osmotic pressure. Now, reverse osmosis. From its heading irregular, it is reverse of osmosis. Flow of solvent particles from a solution of high concentration to a solution of low concentration, or process of flow of solvent particles from a solution toward the pure solvent through semi-permeable membrane is called reverse osmosis. It has very important application in our everyday life. First one, in desalination of seawater. मतलब from seawater we make potable water by the process of desalination. When pressure more than osmotic pressure is applied toward the solution side, pure water is passed out from the seawater through the membrane. So we get potable water or pure water. Now, abnormal molecular mass. As we know, when we dissolve a solute in suitable solvent, either the solute particle dissociate or associate. When the solute particles either dissociate or associate, the molecular masses of the solute in the solution is called abnormal molecular mass. When the molecular mass of a substance determined by studying any of the colligative property comes out to be different than the theoretical expected value, the substance is said to show abnormal molecular mass. Reason I have explained. Now, reason for abnormal molecular mass. When the solute undergoes association in the solution. For example, when we dissolve acetic acid in benzene, acetic acid molecule dimerizes. So observed molecular mass is double than the normal molecular mass of acetic acid. So it is abnormal. Similarly, so when the solute undergoes dissociation in the solution, when we add sodium chloride in water, sodium chloride being ionic, ionized to form Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. So due to the dissociation of sodium chloride molecule, observed molecular mass of sodium chloride in the solution is different from normal molecular mass. So it is abnormal. So there are two regions of abnormal molecular mass, either dissociation of molecules or association of molecules. Now Van 't Hoff factor. Now, to calculate extent of association or dissociation, Van 't Hoff factor to calculate extent of association or dissociation, Van 't Hoff introduced a factor I known as Van 't Hoff factor. Van 't Hoff factor I can be defined in two different ways. First one, it is the ratio of the normal molecular mass calculated by formula by abnormal molecular mass. We calculate by different colligative properties like relative lowering of vapor pressure, and elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, or by osmotic pressure method. Or you can define Van 't Hoff factor I. It is the ratio of the observed colligative property to the calculated colligative properties. Or I is the ratio of the total number of moles of particles after association or dissociation by total number of moles of particles before association or dissociation. Now, calculation of Van 't Hoff factor during association. Let number of particles, as we know, during association, the number of particles will always decrease due to association. If dimerized, the number of particles becomes half in the solution, so on. So I is less than 1. Now, here N molecule of A dissolved in water, they associate to form AN molecule. Let initial particles is your Ni, that is equal to 1. Final number, that is N final, equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha by N. Here alpha is degree of dissociation or association. So in this case, it is alpha is degree of association. Therefore, Van 't Hoff factor I will be equal to NF, final number of moles by initial number of moles or particles, that is equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha by N. Now, second one is your association. Dissociation. In dissociation, the number of particles will always increase due to the dissociation of molecules. So, I is always greater than 1. Always. Let the formula of the form AN, when dissociate, number of ions will be Na, N ions form. Let initial particles 1, therefore final particles will be alpha 1 minus alpha plus N alpha. Therefore, I will be equal to 1 minus alpha plus n alpha. Okay. Now, using Van 't Hoff factor, formula of different colligative properties can be modified. First one, relative lowering of vapor pressure of the solvent. It will be equal to P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught equal to I into N2 by N1. Or similarly, elevation in boiling point delta Tb is equal to I into Kb into small m, that is molality. Depression of freezing point delta Tf equal to I into Kf into small m. Osmotic pressure of the solution pi equal to I into N2 RT by V. Now, application of osmosis in our everyday life. First of all, in human beings, it is observed that people taking a lot of salt or food rich in salt develops swelling in their bodies called edema, because the salt is going to increase the concentration of particles in the body as well as the atmospheric osmotic pressure. So to neutralize the effect, water intake by the body increases, leading to the swelling called edema. Similarly, doctors advise persons suffering from high blood pressure to restrict common salt in their diet. The reason is also same. Okay. Now in plants, root absorb water and minerals from the soil by the process of osmosis. In our everyday life, we see that while making pickles, raw mango pieces are first placed in concentrated common salt solution. Water escapes through the outer skin of the mango pieces, which act as a semi-permeable membrane through osmosis. In this manner, the mango pieces becomes completely dry and pickles can be made from them. Similarly, raw meat is normally preserved by adding a small amount of salt to it. The bacterium responsible for spoiling it loses water and get destroyed. Similarly, resin swells when kept in water overnight. Water enters cell wall of the resin, which act as a semi-permeable membrane. So, resins grow or swells in size. Now, here are some important formula from the chapter solution, which are very important to solve the numerical problems. Thank you, students. I have given some assignment in your school website. I hope you will solve. Thank you.